Excellent. Okay, so the first thing welcome to Demo Day, most importantly. Our first order of business is to make sure that you all are reminded that we are operating under the Linux Foundation antitrust policy. That means we're not talking about financials here or business dealings. You can review that. It's in our meeting notes, and I will link to the meeting notes for you. So if you have any questions on that antitrust policy, you can let us know, but otherwise it can be referenced. You can find the link in those meeting notes that I've just put in the chat box. The other principles in which we operate are under the Cardea Code of Conduct. The link is also in our meeting notes. And the general rule is that we are nice to everybody who wants to participate in this meeting, and that everybody should feel like they have a voice and is welcome to engage as much as they'd like. So please be nice to each other. If there's any concerns with either of those policies, governing policies, you can reach out to Ken or myself. Or if it's an issue with one of us, then you can reach out to the Linux Foundation to have that addressed. Is there anybody today who would like to introduce themselves, who maybe hasn't in a while, or maybe you're new here? Okay, well, we'll get some introductions in as we go through demo day anyways. So for those of you who are going to be presenting today, it would be really wonderful if you could just give a quick introduction before you jump into the details of your demonstration. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to cue us up here, and then Ken's going to take over. So I'll get us through these couple slides. So demo day, it's here. It is officially 2 weeks after we did our Interopathon, and the point of this meeting is to provide an opportunity for those of you who participated in the Interopathon to demonstrate sort of where you are now. Just a quick reminder about our Interopathon. You guys got to test against the reference code, and then some of you were able to test against each other. And so today is sort of the opportunity to get to show that off, which is really exciting. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing where you are now. And especially potentially if you were able to fix anything as a result of the Interopathon, understanding how that helped. So this is a sort of rehashing of our goals for that Interopathon event, which was to, as I said, test against the reference code and test against each other to discover friction points or things that maybe didn't work so well. And we've gotten to review those. We did cover a few of them at our last work group meeting. And then publishing the results of the Interopathon. So the projects that we highlighted through that Interopathon are those listed here. A couple of these did not participate yet, but they RSVP'd. And the ones highlighted in bold are the ones that are queued up to demonstrate for us today, including, in addition to these three, we'll have a quick reference review before we jump into this vendor-specific codes. So, Ken, do you have anything to add before we jump into our reference example?
We're excited to have all of the participants who want to demo today. We did receive some feedback that some fixes are still in progress and will take a little bit longer. And so therefore, those solutions were more excited to demo later than to demo right away because their fixes aren't completely taken care of yet. In the future, we may want to push back our remediation time to be slightly longer than 2 weeks so that the demos can have an opportunity for the fixes to take place. That's I think all we have in the way of background information. I think it's time for the part that everybody wants to see, the demo part. Should we have the reference implementation go first? I think that might be best, and then go through each of the participants, networks, Synergy, Liquid Avatar, and CETA in that order, probably.
Okay, and we're gonna give you guys, let's say 15-ish minutes each. So we may finish a little bit before our 2-hour time slot is over, but we have allocated 2 hours in case there are questions or follow-ups for each of the demonstrators. So I'm not sure who's doing the reference code. Mike or Kim, do you?
Simon is going to run the reference
Simon.
demo for us. He'll do Cardea agents against Cardea agents first.
Great, Simon, you should be able to share your screen. Hi, RJ, sorry.
I'm late. I'm sorry. I kept clicking on all the wrong links. I'm sorry for being late.
You're not that late. It's fine. Welcome. And we're just going to get started with the reference implementation demonstration first. So we're happy to have you. And Simon, the court is yours.
Thank you. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Simon Nazarenka. I work as a software engineer at Indicio. I focus on working on enterprise agents, building features, rebuilding old, new, building new. And my main focus right now is on implementing governance. But I'm ready to show you the demo of Cardea versus Cardea. So I got my app ready. We're going to connect to the lab first. We're going to share our passport and demographics, and we're connected. We'll go here and we'll issue the vaccine. For the vaccine, the key fields would be the administration date and the vaccine series be set to true. We're going to issue that credential. And accept that on the holder. Okay, so we got that. We're going to continue with our manual way of getting the trusted traveler. So I'm gonna connect the government. Share passport and demographics. We're connected. And we're ready to issue the trusted traveler based on our vaccine credential. For send. And we got that.
Hey, Simon, did
Yep.
that the demographic information underneath passport, was that passed over, or did you already have that information? Did you enter it? Was it passed from the credential?
Yeah, I completed the registration on the holder prior to this demo. So all information was there. I just shared it with the government and lab on request.
Yep, sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, and we're ready to verify our credential. And we're going to share that credential of trusted traveler, and that was verified. So this is my demo here. I can demonstrate you the same way of Cardea, but versus the CETA, if you'd like to see that as well.
I think we're going to do CETA at the end.
Yep. At the end. So your part is the just the reference to reference, and I think we'll do. You may get involved in helping with the CETA presentation to the reference implementation.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so Simon, that's you're good.
Yeah, that was my demo.
Excellent. Any questions on Simon's components?
I just have a comment about sort of towards RJ's question. Because Cardea is optimized to work against Cardea, the step of passing the demographics has all been set up and assumed to work, and that shown to be part of the workflow. For other agents, such as a Trinsic or a Passport or a Liquid Avatar or whatever other wallet, where they're meant to be more broadly available and generically useful agents, that optimization step of auto sharing or streamlining the sharing of those credentials may not be built right into the application, but Cardea does have a way around that. The person who's administering, using the enterprise agent and administering the credentials can manually update the information there in case that streamlined workflow is not, pre-built into the agent.
Great, thanks, that's helpful. Okay, so I think if there are no other comments, which are always welcome, we can move on to our next demonstrator. Ken, I didn't keep track of that order, but on the list, network synergy is next. Is that okay?
That's good.
Excellent. So network synergy, if you can introduce yourself, and then you should be able to share your screen.
Dear colleagues, my name is Mikhail. I'm a developer of Network Synergy. We have a small presentation about our solutions, or we can start with demonstrating our wallet.
I think if you want to give a little background, that's fine. You have 15 minutes, so you can use it as you choose.
Игорь, тогда готовься, я сейчас буду делать презентацию. Okay, I want to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I want to very briefly describe our solution and what we use. We are based on Hyperledger Indy. We use ARIAS frameworks. We now are working on W3C standards. But in contrast to some other projects, we do not use ARIAS frameworks such as ACAPI, ARIAS.js, ARIAS.go, and so on. And further, I will try to describe why we decide to develop our own solution. In this picture, we can see a standard schema of this paradigm. But here it is necessary to consider in more detail the interaction between the existing legacy business software and cloud agents. And especially to pose the question about the degree of trust between existing software and cloud agents. We consider the configurable trust between client and cloud agents. In our solution, the developer can adjust the level of trust between the SSIS server and their own software and infrastructure. It can fully trust to our solution, or it can not trust it at all and use it only as a mediator, or some intermediate variants also possible. This approach gives us an opportunity to gradually and painlessly implement self-sovereign identity solution into existing business information systems. We have three open source Indy-Links software development kits, which it should be integrated into existing client software or existing
Yes, just a
mobile software.
I'm sorry, Jeff, are you trying to chime in? Okay, sorry, go ahead, Mikhail.
We have software development kits for Python, Java, including Android and PHP SDK. And our SDK allows one to integrate it into existing legacy systems and involve the existing legacy systems into the trust environment. And as I said, we have also SDK for mobile applications. In this case, the agent and wallet is completely located on the device. Our SDK is completely the same for server agent and mobile agents. And we also have our original open source mediator that supports Firebase cloud messaging, which helps us to connect with mobile device, for example, when it is asleep or when mobile operation system killed it or something like that. Thank you for your attention. And now I guess that we are ready to demonstrate our wallet, which is based on our Links SDK and our mediator against Cardea reference solution. Игорь, мы готовы?
Да, готовы. Yes, we are ready.
So I stop my demonstration.
So whose screen should we be looking at? Igor's or yours?
Igor.
Igor. Okay, so you may, if you're viewing, if you click at the top, there's like a view options. You can change whose screen you're looking at. Also, the other option, Mikhail, is that you could stop sharing and then everybody would see Igor's screen. Okay, go ahead, Igor. Sorry.
Okay. We have a mobile communicator. We can connect to Cardea. Fill some fields. But like Mike said, it's not it's with working only with Cardea, I think, because when we do this, the field is not shown in contacts. But it says that.
Yes, we don't know a proof request a priori, so we type it manually.
This is another way that people could deal with working with the proof request from the reference implementation, where it's not hard coded into the workflow. It seems that they've said, we've received a proof request. Here are the values that you need to provide, and have a UI on the mobile agent for providing those rather than requiring the admin to do it. So that's another clever way to do it. Good work, guys.
Okay, so we need to fill here. I think. Some fields.
We still have a little issue because Cardea implementation accepts our proof, but it doesn't reflect on these forms. So we need to input it manually. Сначала order.
Что нам выпускать?
Order сначала.
Вакцин?
Order.
For the demo, you don't have to fill out all the fields. You can skip the rest of the lab order fields and click submit.
Okay. It's okay. Oh. We have all the fields here. And it's accepted, credential issued.
Результат выдаем.
Before moving to the government, you'll need to issue a lab result credential.
Yes.
Yes, lab result. Thank you.
You're gonna have to be, the lab specimen collection date needs to be filled out properly.
Lab result, hold on, yeah.
And lab result, there's two, not
Hold
yet.
on, hold on.
So this is because the machine readable governance right now has a couple of clear restrictions about what we need to have issued, or it will fail. So that's the criticality of that.
Yes, lab result is accepted, credential issued.
Now let's move on to government.
Yeah, so since the lab result was set to true and not to normal or negative, excuse me, not negative, this verification unfortunately is going to fail.
Oh,
But we could see that happen too. That's a great demo.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good demo as well.
yes, we don't need a field, I think here. Oh,
So
you can go back to the lab issuer and issue a vaccination record, and then you can issue a trusted traveler for that.
this one or first?
No, the second
Nope.
one.
Second one.
Okay.
In here, 2 fields are required. The date field, for the date it was vaccination administration date. So that's up a little bit.
Right there. Vaccine administration date.
Down one more.
That one.
There you go.
Okay, and that must be about a month ago. And
The format
series
for
is-
that is 2021. It should be 2021, let's say 01, and then you said a month ago, 07. Does the formatting here matter?
It may.
And then series complete must be true. All lowercase.
So one more down. One
where
more
is-
field down.
Where is
you're-
this?
Underneath 67890.
Ah, this-
One more field down.
Еще, Поль, но выше одно. Вот,
hotel?
да, должен быть true.
All
Oh.
lowercase. Perfect. Go ahead and submit that, and we'll see if the date is accepted in that format.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a known issue with the enterprise agent. The date picker doesn't work in certain versions of Safari. So he didn't have a date picker that would auto submit his date format for him. So fingers crossed it came in okay.
Okay, vaccination accepted, and we can issue a travel vaccine, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Something wrong.
Would the proof fail if the date on the vaccine was invalid, or would the proof be successful and then it would just be on the issuing of the trusted traveler credential?
Depending on how they display their error message, it could have gone either way, but the likelihood is that it's the date is in an incorrect format.
So I think it would have to be 2021-07-01. I just put it in the chat. I think unless we turn it into Unix somewhere else, I think that would be the right formatting. Kim or Mike, I don't know if you have a opinion.
If you have some more time, we have our own implementation of government, which works okay. And I can switch it on and we can finish demonstration with our version of government.
Okay.
So,
What we could do here, Mike, do you want to share your screen for a minute and let Igor scan a code from you and have you issue a government record? I mean, a lab record for him.
all right, I can do that.
vaccine. That way we can work around any input issues here.
All right, just a moment here. I'll get my lab ready.
To see Mike's screen, Igor, you might have to stop sharing for a moment. Sometimes it's a limitation of Zoom.
Let's see.
Игорь, нажми на паузу далеко, и там завершится эта демонстрация.
I gotta figure out. Oh, there it goes. It finally has a way to let me share my screen here. All right, so here's the lab, and we'll display the QR code.
Let us know when you've scanned it, Igor.
He's muted.
Yes, I'm scanned. I get a verification and
There's Igor.
Okay, you have to edit the demographics, Mike.
Yeah, I gotta move my participants window here. It's blocking my screen. Let's see if I can get out of the way. All right, anyway. All right, so we'll just give him some pre-populated stuff from before for the sake of speed. Wrong way, we'll go this way so that you're not born yesterday. So the date picker is inserting the dates in a US format. So that's month, day, and year with slashes in between. And that's what gets converted to the Unix timestamp on the other side. So since Igor is not the first person to run into the bug in Safari, I guess we'll put that on the list of things to fix. So is it Kazakhstan?
Russia.
Russia. I mean, some of you were from, I think from Kazakhstan and some from Russia. Sorry for, all right, so the issue date will be today. We only need the, I know this is the passport stuff, that's right. So we'll do an expiration in the future. Okay, passport, Russia. All right, so there's this demographics. And now we'll do a vaccine credential. We only need, let's see if I can find it, even though I've done this 100 times. Let's see, the administration date needs to be more than 2 weeks ago. So we'll go back to August. And the series complete needs to be true. And since my date picker inserted the date, hopefully we won't have any trouble with the date this time. All right, so now that we've issued the credential, I'll stop sharing because all the action should be on Igor's screen now.
Igor, you have to
Okay.
reshare, just so you know.
yes.
Excellent.
So what I have to do now? Government, right?
Yes. Now,
I think you should reconnect to government.
У меня сейчас, по-моему, I
have to-
think I'm gonna.
Since you've reconnected, you're gonna have to re-enter the demographic stuff.
The demographics aren't required for the
I
government
think
side.
my app crashed this time.
Is this the
So,
old connection?
I don't think, maybe. Just
Reconnecting shouldn't be a problem.
It wouldn't be demo day if there weren't some hiccups here. So
right. So
And we can just go click on trusted trial or vaccine. Okay,
oh yes, my app crashed and didn't store the credit.
Mike, if you'd share your screen one more time and reform the connection for him.
Sure.
Yes, yes, please.
So we're gonna redo the government one.
Redo the lab issuance. His
got it.
application crashed and it didn't store the lab credential.
Didn't save it. All right.
Yes, I think we can just issue just new create credentials.
Okay,
In
have you
last
connected,
minute.
Igor?
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
Mike, is it going to be a problem to have a date of birth from 2 weeks ago if the vaccine was done a month ago?
No.
In real life, it probably would be, but it's not in the rules for checking everything right now, and so it shouldn't be a problem for this demo.
Great.
All right, let's see. Administration date, more than 2 weeks ago. Series complete, true. All right, so that's on its way.
Mm. Yes, it's here.
Okay, you can share your screen again. Thank you.
Yes. So we can issue travel vaccine.
Did you reconnect to the government now?
Oh, no. Yes, we have to reconnect, of course.
Because it crashed. All right. There it is.
Yes.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, it's okay.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Hey, we can just accept this. Oh, and we can go to a restaurant.
Finally, you get to eat.
Yes, finally.
I'm going to say, but unfortunately, we've missed the plane by now. So
No, they'd hold it at the gate for you.
Oh, something? No? Nothing. No, we're not gonna eat.
no dinner for you.
Try
No,
refreshing and connecting one more time. If you
Okay.
hit some sort of connection timeout, it
Maybe,
may not.
okay.
Yes, refresh your restaurant. Right.
It's in the URL bar.
Yeah, the little spinny circle right next to the URL, right there.
Okay, one more time. No, nothing. Okay.
No dinner for
I
you.
think that's enough. Yes.
Excellent. Well, I think that was very, very helpful to see. And I think it was Mike that pointed out that, or maybe it was Kim, I apologize, that you guys passed, you do the proof credential, so it passes the information in to avoid adding that manually, which is really interesting.
Right. It, if the passenger enters their own data, it might reduce the risk of data entry error or spelling problems or something like that if you ask the administrator to do it instead. So, it's a different approach that could be appropriate for some circumstances.
It also multi-threads it because each person can do it on their, they can all be doing it at the same time. It's not single threaded through
dependent on
an
one
individual. Mhm. Excellent. You guys have anything else to add before we go to our next demonstrator?
Михаил, есть что добавить?
Thank you very much. We will be very glad to see the next presenter.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank
Our-
you.
Our next
Thank you
demonstrator.
so much.
Sorry, is there a question?
No, I say thank you to watch us.
Okay, next up, Liquid Avatar. If you can introduce yourself and then wherever you'd like to start, the court is yours.
Absolutely. I've lost my screen. Sorry, everyone. I got to figure out where it disappeared. Oh, gotcha. You're back. Hold on. Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. Let me share. So the neat thing is that we are in the process of going live, and there's lots of, and we've been testing nonstop. There's lots of different scenarios that we can run through. What I want to do is start from scratch of just logging into my account. So what we do with our app is that right when you create an account, we start to bind that agent, and we're a cloud agent, to your identity. Because we don't want to limit access, we start real basic with a level 1 type credential, which is a verified email address. And then we tie it to your biometrics. So I've already registered and created an account, and I verified my email. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log in and show you guys what that user experience is. I don't have my glasses, so I got to keep looking up to make sure I'm typing it in right. 101 at my email. So it'll ask for my biometrics. This is my password. And so now it is tying my email and my biometrics to confirm that I have an account. So it's securing those credentials, right? So this is that binding part so that we make sure that if I have a credential, a health type credential, I did something wrong. So if I have a health type credential, I'm able to sign in and get to it. So let me just think this through. I typed in the wrong email. I thought it was the 101. I just tried this. Let's see what we got. Sorry, guys. Go to my other screen, go and figure out the code that just sent to me.
Okay, these are classic demo day hiccups.
There we go. No, that's not what I want.
So instead of using an existing account, you're now verifying an email and setting up a new account?
No, I hit login. So I think I just fat fingered my email or didn't type it in correctly. So just give me a second. I'm on my other screen looking for my code that just came through.
It looks like you've got 2 R's in the email, Reeser with 2 R's before the J.
Yep.
Is that on purpose? Oh, Reese or
Yeah.
RJ, I get it.
We're okay. So let's just start from scratch. So let's do this. So we're going to create a new account and we're going to do 767 at gmail.com. So we have our terms and conditions, our compliance group that loves everyone to scroll through all of our agreements, which is always fun. So our privacy terms, I'll scroll through. And so what we're going to see is this will be a brand new account. It'll send over to me a verification code. So it's verifying the email address. You guys are gonna laugh at me. I'm looking at the wrong email account. I'm looking at my work email versus my Gmail account.
I was thinking if
There we
you've
go,
been
use
doing
activation
enough
code.
testing that you've incremented up in email addresses to 700, that's a lot of testing.
So 817-136, 817-136. No, so I have another one coming. Just a minute. I doubled it up because it all goes to this one. So yeah, it's 174660. Did it again, just a minute, sorry. I did 767. Oh. So going through the same process because that account didn't work. All right, I'm in the right account now, waiting for my next code to come in. It's here. Let's make sure I use the right one. 46, so 344-379.
So you're going through the entire account setup process basically right now.
That is correct. So it wants to do my biometrics. So I'm creating a new account. I'll take the photo. It's binding this particular agent to my biometrics. So as it goes through, and this is in staging. So I'm able to create multiple. In production, you'll only be able to have one account for one person. We create personas, so you can create like a cartoon character for different personas. I'm going to go ahead and just do a basic face. I'll just hit save instead of building one out. Now it's setting up the wallet. So we're setting up that cloud wallet and also issuing an email verifiable credential. So it's going through now. So this is all cloud agent going to the DCO network. So it's also, as you can see, it's also offered a credential, a validated email credential. So I'll hit accept. So I'm in my wallet. So this is how we can create multiple different personas and attach attested information and verifiable credentials to different personas. I'll go ahead and I can click view all on the credentials. It is now going to confirm credentials. And you can see that I have a valid, a liquid ID, which is the email credential. And you can see it's the 767. I'm going to hit close. And then on the other side of the screen, so I can use our issuer here and do a connection. So I can do scan. I'll come up and scan the QR code. It's saying, do you want to connect to the lab? I say yes, and go over to the contacts. here's my wallet, 1360. So for example, if I hit cancel over here and go to my community, I just clicked on this button down here. I can see that I connected with Liquid Avatar, that this connection, and then also the lab connection is now through. So we track all those different connections. If I click on the wallet, I can add in information as needed, hit submit, and then we can do any of the credentials. Is there anyone have a preference? You want to do a lab, you want to do a vaccination or exemption? Any requests? We're taking requests.
We haven't seen an exemption yet, so let's do that.
Good. Okay, so I'll click on the exemption. Now you guys are going to need to exemption date. So you need to help me with the mandatory fields. I think the exemption date needs to be in the path. No,
No, that one's in the future.
so that's the future. So we'll go to the 7th. And then there was another field that needs to be filled out, correct?
I think that was all for the exemption, wasn't it, Mike?
So the issue,
The
hold on.
expiration date.
Yeah, the issue date doesn't really matter, but the expiration date is what needs to be in the future. So that was the issue date. So you got to find the expiration date on here somewhere. I think it's towards the bottom. There it is, the date picker.
Yep, perfect. And then we're going to go the 8th. And I'm going to hit submit. Everyone's
That
good
should
with
do it.
that? Okay.
Yep, I think that's right.
So the offer set, and you can see that now it pops up over here, credential offering. Do you want to accept? I can hit accept. Now I'll go back to my wallet, view all. It is going back to the blockchain, to the cloud agent to confirm credentials. So you can see that I have my exemption credential here. Page 3, you can see the name. This is that whole address that I put in when I did the edit. So this is the correct credential, close. And then we can use this credential. We can go to and get a happy traveler pass. I want to say it's this one, government, yes. Type in passwords. All right, so let's see if I got it correct. Yep, there we go. So we're connected. I can say add contact. On my device, I'll hit scan. If I'm not on this, if I'm not in the wallet, I'm on our main page. We have a scan button down below. Click scan. Boom, it connects. It says, do you want to connect with the government? This is a dynamic field. Let me get this out of here so you can see it. This is a dynamic field. So depending on what is being offered on the connection, it will pick up that information. I mean, we all can see that this is going to get more and more detailed depending on the scenario of the connections or what you're trying to accomplish. So I'll hit accept. We'll go over here to contacts. It found this connection with the email, validated email. You can then share that information back and hit send. It's not, we haven't done that last part where this information will be connected in where you can see it. That's kind of next up. And it'll also be tied to our next level identity credential, which is a process where you're doing a selfie and also an image of your driver's license and or passport. It will create a credential. And then when you connect, you can select from that credential and it'll populate those fields. Does that make any questions on that one? Does that make sense, everybody? As I'm filling this form out. Okay, so it wants to have, let me go view all. We are doing the vaccine exemption. So we want the trusted traveler for vaccine exemption, which is this middle one. I'm connected. I'll hit that button. It comes through. You can see that the government's asking for my vaccine exemption. If I had multiple, so as I start doing these demos and add up credentials, if I had 2 of these credentials or what have you, I can select from multiple different credentials that meet that criteria. This particular can have the 1. You can select which fields you want to share or not share. Obviously, it depends on the governments and what the verifier will accept. You hit send and it comes through. You can see that I successfully verified with my test result. Then it also offered the trusted traveler. There's a sequence here that I need to correct. So you can see that I had 2 offers pop up. Here's that first one that is just for verification that you've connected. So now you can see that it actually already refreshed to where I have that trusted traveler pass. So we're sporting 3 credentials at the moment, which is nice. So I can do a couple different things, right? If we want to go and here's the Cardea site, I'm just refreshing. So if I want to get access to a restaurant, they want the trusted traveler, I can scan it. It says the verifier is coming through, I accept it, and it's going to pop up on this side. It's loading my credential. It says, yes, I have a trusted traveler. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. It says, here's your trusted traveler. I'll hit send, and then it'll pop up over here and say 6ABC, just for fun. I would say that here's the 6ABC. Boom. We also have, I can hold off there, but I have a venue that checks for a PCR. I can enter in a lab test. I can either go to Vector, our interface to do it, or if somebody else wants to issue one, and I'll try to scan it and then come to ours. Yeah, whatever you guys would like to do. We've been really kicking the tires hard on this over the last 2 weeks. And we're feeling pretty confident with it at the moment. There's a lot of the issues we run into is because we're in the test environment and we haven't turned it live yet to the production environment, which will make all these different scenarios kind of clean up, right? I won't be doing plus, X number email account and jumping back and forth and seeing, 15 different verifiable, so like here, this email, right? I get all kinds of verification codes that come through. Pick the wrong one, it kind of dampens my demo, but
RJ, I have a
if
question.
anyone else wants to use, yeah, please.
So you said that you can select, so if you were asked for credential, let's say you were asked for your vaccine credential, you could have now, as of like yesterday, 2 or 3 of them. You could select, it would show you all 3. And so you could say, I want to send all 3 vaccine credentials to the person who's asking to verify my vaccine status.
Yeah, so RJ, do you want to go ahead and issue one more vaccine exemption credential, and then we can go through the trusted traveler issuance again and show that multi-select.
That would be
Sure.
awesome. Because the same would be true, right? You could have had multiple COVID tests where you have multiple lab results. In that case, you'd want to only send them the most recent, I would think.
So so last time I picked the 8th, let's pick the 28th. I like 7s, the 27th. Let's submit. Offer sent. It'll pop up over here to accept. I'll say yes, and I'll accept. Okay. So now I will have 2 of, I'm going to refresh my wallet. So here are the 2 vaccine credentials, right? Issued 7 minutes apart. So now if I go to the government, that's what we want to do, right? So if I go to the government, I'm already connected, so I can redo it, but instead let's go through the whole process. Add a contact. I'll hit my QR scanner, scan in, it says the government, yes. Go down. I can do my verify email. That piece isn't connected yet, but it's there. Go down to contacts. You can see that this is my wallet 1360, and we want to do. Don't we have to have some demographics in that, right?
Only on the lab.
Okay. And so we have our. We want to do the vaccine exemption, which is this one. So I'll click on the vaccine exemption, see how both exemptions popped up, different time frames. So like I can pick the one that is the 57. So how we have it structured is your most current credential will pop up at the top. and just kind of we'll go through and look at, so it doesn't ask for the date. Well, it does right there, but we have to figure out how, as a community, right, we're going to take that timestamp and convert it back. But this is that one. If we had a way to convert it, it would be that other date. It'd be the 28th. I'm gonna hit cancel. But you can see here, this is that the latest one 57, whereas the other one was 50. So I can select either one. So if I want, I'll go ahead and I'll select this one, which is the top one, the most current one. Hit send. It will tell me that I've successfully issued it, and right away it pops up because it qualified that I have a new trusted traveler credential. I'll hit accept, and it refreshed already where I now have 2 of the trusted travelers. And this one was just completed just now.
So it's not that you could submit multiple credentials on a single request. It's that it lets you choose which credential you would want to respond with. Is that correct?
That is correct.
The government agent's only asking for one. If it were asking for multiples, then he could supply both of them if he wanted to.
Yeah,
In this scenario, because the
Yeah.
vaccine scenario, right, especially as we have the current discussion about how many vaccines should you have, knowing whether series complete definitions are changing on us. So you might want one credential for each vaccine you've been administered, 1, 2, or 3.
That's
So
the
you'd want
direction
you would
the-
want to multi-select in that scenario, on the vaccine credential sharing.
Yes, in particular, you would want to be able to multi-select, but the government at least needs to ask for more than one, and you can provide, the corresponding number back. But the government may say, I only want to see your most recent and an indicator of series complete, or they may ask for individual vaccination records and then ask for more than one of them, and you pass back whichever ones you have.
What we see, what we're building towards is a double proof. I think that's the right term. So as you guys saw that we connected with any of these agents, it is asking for our identity credential. So we use the email, but then we're going to have different level credentials so that you have this a bound credential to an individual. Whether if you're going into a test lab, and they want to connect with you, and with that email credential is also an image, so they can click on it and it'll pop up in the verifier. It'll have my image there as well, and so they can say, yes, this is RJ, let's move forward and connect a lab result or a vaccination result. As you think of other types of scenarios, maybe we're going to need a higher assurance level or a passport, and you want to make sure that passport truly is tied to that individual. That information would be the first step to connect with the identity. The verifier will verify that that is the individual. Then they will ask that for that credential, is what we're building towards.
The
Excellent.
complexities of multiple credential presentations are a topic that will take, I'm sure, some additional conversation to figure out what the best way to do it for the best user experience to occur, and to get all of the information that a verifier might need that might come from a series or a pair of credentials to provide all the data. Nice work, Liquid Avatar. Thank you for your presentation.
And anybody that's on this call, reach out and we can do interop tests with you, right? I mean, we are dedicated to move this whole interoperability and